Well, we finally made it to the big reveal. I hope you're ready. If you haven't seen the episode yet, what are you doing here? Go back and watch the episode because you're going to miss, we're going to spoil everything. No doubt. So, all right, guys, this is the episode where it all comes to a head. So hopefully you've been paying attention. I know I have. Let's talk about it. What's up, my know-it-alls? Man, oh man. Wow. This episode, it's not the penultimate episode, but it's setting up what I hope will next week be an amazing penultimate episode. But we definitely get the reveal. Oh yeah, that happened. Without a shadow of a doubt. So hopefully you've been watching the show as well and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because if not, turn away. We're going to spoil all this. But here we go. So what the heck, man? Okay, so you're trying to tell me that everybody makes it over. That's the line. Everybody makes it over. Yeah. Amelia makes it over. But they all do. But Amelia gets caught out the gate by Keith. Has a conversation with him, which is arguably one of the funniest conversations I think I've ever had. Come to find out later on, again, if you watch the Peacemaker podcast with James Gunn, that most of that scene was improv. And it kind of just like went with stuff and it ended up working out the way it did. If you watch the post-credit scene, which isn't really a post-credit scene in the traditional sense, but it's just sort of other cuts from the show, which I think is great. You get to see another version of that same scene. So it's worth watching at the end. The gang's headed over. They've come. They're here. They're checking out what's up with Peacemaker. And so Keith offers to give Harcourt a ride to Argus, and because she's in an effort to find Peacemaker. Before all this, though, they had to get to the quantum unfolding chamber. And when they did this, they set it up, because they had to set it up someplace. Luckily, Adebayo did, in fact, see everything Peacemaker had done. She sets it up in Vigilante's basement, which I love the fact we got to meet Vigilante's mom and sort of see a slice of life. It was a little cliche for me, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. Like, it made sense. If that makes sense. But, and hearing her personality and her quirks and stuff, and ultimately the things that that Adrian has to say to his mom in order to look somewhat like he's quote unquote normal, I thought was brilliant as well. The whole idea that him and Harcourt were dating, at least that's what he's told her, but they had to break up because she was a little bit too much, if you know what I'm saying.
I was just so excited that he had a girlfriend.
Mom, shut up.
Girlfriend.
Shut up.
I don't think that being too slutty is
Mom,
any reason to break
stop,
up with
Mom,
someone.
would you?
Right? I just thought it was so funny. So he's just losing his mind completely. And I thought that was great. The character Vigilante is one that he's been so excited for the thing that happens in this very episode, which is he gets to meet himself. When they get there to the other side, clearly, again, Amelia goes one way, everybody's sort of looking for their own things. Adrian takes the opportunity, he leaves to go find himself. He goes to the house, he finds out his dad is still there, because he goes, well, I guess in this universe, my dad's no longer gay. And it's this whole storyline you're sitting here going, maybe he is, just he's not allowed to say that here. And then, in fact, when he goes downstairs and meets up with himself, they have a pretty fun meet cute, if you will. And the other him has no problem accepting everything that was just said. And they're going back and forth and back and forth. And that's when he begins to drop the penny. Stop. Head back over to Harcourt. She's in the car riding with Keith, and she's hearing the music that Keith's playing, and she's like, oh, this is interesting, whatever. And you find out that the Beatles have a different frontman, it's very different, the little nuances of things, and she's noticing stuff. As she's looking around, James Gunn makes an effort for us to notice she's noticing some things. Yeah, she squints and scrutinizes, and she's like, what's wrong with this scene? Something is off. And I kind of got to admit, I don't know if I'd be as quick to notice something was off. That's just me. Moving on. So Peacemaker leaves with our Amelia, or rather Harcourt too. Amelia, we'll call her Amelia. And so he proceeds to head back to Argus. She gets there. When they had to come over from the other universe, downstairs in Vigilante's bunker, if you will, he keeps all the stuff he confiscates from criminals. He calls it blood money, and the 11th Street kids are quick to be like, yeah, no, totally, blood money, it's the worst, that's horrible. And they're just taking it because they're like, yo, man, really? He also keeps the drugs and stuff, and and even Economist is like, dude, you can't just slush it like everybody else. When they do the door exploding outward thing, they get covered in drugs. And so they have to spend time cleaning themselves up, and little by little by little. So now you go back to when Harcourt makes it to Argus with Keith, the drug dogs are keyed up and pull her in. Peacemaker shows up just as she's being taken off to the side. Oh yeah. And he makes eye contact, and he just left Amelia, so he knows that is in fact Harcourt. This is when they have an amazing heart-to-heart. He comes in, he's like, what are you doing here? This and that. They talk. This is probably the most character development that we have ever seen from Jennifer Holland, who plays the character of Harcourt. Not that she can act very well, but to see this depth, because she is being torn apart, because she's essentially trying to say, look, I know that I'm losing my chance. I'm screwing it up in my side, but I can't screw it up because I lost you to this other world. It's a very, and she's like, he's like, well, I can't leave everybody behind. And she's like, yes, you can. Oh yeah, come on, right now, let's go. She's very much in that moment, and I feel her. I totally feel her in that. And because she's like, look, I suck. I know that. And she even says as much. And he says, probably the greatest thing ever that he could have said. And it's funny, under any other circumstances, I might have thought it was cheesy, but the way he has set up, James Gunn has set up this Chris and Peacemaker and everything else, I believe it when he says,
I don't care.
I do, okay? I don't have access to my feelings like you do.
It just came across real to me in that moment. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Would love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe him? Do you believe Chris is sort of this evolution? I know one thing. People have busted this show's balls since the beginning, talking about how everything in the beginning was because obviously there was the orgy scene and some other stuff and whatnot. And you sit here and you question them. But when you get to this place, you're like, we're so far away from that. So far away. So then they finally decide to let her go. And this is when the penny finally drops. Cut back to, now we're going back and forth. On one side, Vigilante's talking about everything else. He said, blah, blah, blah. And my best friend's Peacemaker. And that's when the other Vigilante's like,
is your best friend Peacemaker?
Peacemaker?
Yes.
I hate that guy.
What?
And literally from that, we cut over to, as they're walking, Amelia starts asking, are you noticing anything weird? And she points it out first. I haven't really seen anybody of color at all. Which I find that to be the funniest way to say it. Because I know for me, I'd have been like, there's a whole lot of white people here.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Or where are all the Asian people? Where are the Spanish folks? Where are the black people? Like, what's going on? Like, I would ask the question. I find it unique that Hollywood won't let them ask that literal question. Instead, he goes, where are all the people of color? It was a weird way to phrase the sentence, but whatever. That's when Chicky comes out. She's going to stop this and that. They see the flag. He sees the flag on the table. And at the same time, you find out from the other vigilante, he's part of the Sons of Liberty. That terrorist group from the second, third episode. Okay. So he's from the people who are fighting against the system. And that's when we learn the truth as Peacemaker picks up the flag, opens it up, and it's on the blue, it's a swastika. That's right. So sure enough, it is Earth X of a type. You know what I'm saying? And, or Earth, whatever. And sure, they've won. This is the world they're on. And that's Adebayo leaves. It was just her and Economos left at Peacemaker's house. She leaves and starts walking down the street. And this is when you see what's probably the most brutal scene, at least from, it felt incongruous to everything else. But Adebayo gets, essentially everybody stops and is like, look, it's one of them, blah, 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 it's a black or whatever. Very, very upset. They're skirting a line, but I'm here for it. Because the story is amazing, the story they're telling, and this all fits within that sphere. And I feel like this is what it means to tell a solid story and nothing else matters. The story is what matters. Clearly there's messaging going on, but at the same time, I like the fact that we're seeing the world for what it is. And we're gonna have to deal with that. We're gonna see how those things move forward. Except the fact that Blue Devil, whatever, catches Economos. And Economos spills the beans right out the gate.
I'm John Economist. I'm from another dimension. I'm here to get our friend Peacemaker, who's your son. He's not really your son. I am saying way too much.
Like, he is not the guy to hold the secrets. I'll tell you what right now. But that's kind of part and parcel for his character. At least that's what I would think. So would love to hear your thoughts, hear what you guys think. Are you feeling the vibes of what's going down? I know I am. But there you go. Now you know. And if knowing's half the battle, you're halfway to being know-it-all yourself. What's the neural index for this episode? Oh, this episode's getting a solid 9 out of 10 from me.
This is your perfect world, huh?
This thing is how you tell stories. This is how you tell stories. This is how you tell stories where the story is the most important thing. Messaging is wrapped within the existing universe. You don't alter and change scenarios to fit a message. You sit here and say, okay, what is the story we're telling? And they told a brilliant story. I think it's wonderful. I think it fits perfectly. I like everything that they're doing in terms of how they're moving forward. We'd love to hear your thoughts, where you, obviously nobody's gonna be surprised about the reveal. Was there something about the reveal you were surprised about? Or would you have preferred it be something else? Was this too on the nose, or is it giving us the fan service we deserve? Let me know one way or another in the comments, and we'll talk again about it next week. All right, guys, never forget, everyone loves a know-it-all. Bye, guys.